Chapter 518. Guard the Ninth Theater. Main City. The huge main city has been besieged by the Demon Court army for several days. If it wasn't for the help of the human race's inspection Tianzuan 3 days ago, the main city of the Ninth War Zone would have been occupied long ago. But even so, the situation in this main city is still not optimistic. This can be seen from the dim golden light on the main city. In the main city, Gu Jian Tianzuan looked at the world demon army besieging the main city with an ugly face. In the end, his eyes fell on the 53 true immortal level world demons in the world demon army. In just one main city, Yaoting dispatched 53 true immortal level world demons. Yaoting really looks down on my human race, Gu Jian Tianzuan said with hatred. In the past few days, their group of patrolling Tianzuan has played against the real immortal level world monsters of the demon court more than once. But due to the disadvantage in number, they have always been suppressed by the demon court. If the human race had the main city as a retreat, maybe they would have fallen to the digital inspection Tianzuan now. Although the human race's patrol Tianzuan has the strength comparable to the real fairy level world demon, it is only comparable to the most common real immortal level world monster. Those who can be dispatched by Yaoting here are not ordinary real fairy level demons. Each of these true immortal level world monsters has a strength no less than that of the Silver Wing Heavenly Venerate. As for the Terran side, if not counting the true immortal level combat power of the main town guard, which cannot move, the Terran side only has 25 true immortal level combat strengths. Among them, there are fewer than 10 inspectors who can compare with Ini Tianzuan. In this case, how can the human race not be at a disadvantage? The Yaoting party also knows the power of the ancient sword Tianzuan, so every time it fights with the human inspection Tianzuan, it will send a whole 10 real immortal level demons to entangle the ancient sword Tianzuan. No matter how powerful Gu Jian Tianzuan is, after all, he is not the Emperor Slaughter Tianzuan of that year. Facing the siege of 10 true immortal level world demons, he can only maintain a balance of power at most. Gu Jian, what should we do now? The one who speaks is another inspection Tianzuan who ranks in the top 5 of the human race's strength, named Qiyun Tianzuan. Gu Jian Tianzuan glanced at the other party, then turned to look at the world demon and said, "Guard." Qiyun Tianzuan heard the words and frowned. Everyone knows the truth that if you keep it for a long time, you will lose it. But the reality is that they simply don't have the strength to go out of the city and fight to the death with the real immortal level world monsters in Yaoting. 53 true immortal level world demons meant that almost every inspector of Tianzuan had to face nearly 2 true immortal level world monsters, and they were still not weaker than the true immortal level world monsters of Silver Wing Tianzuan. This makes people's inspection Tianzuan unable to resist. Seemingly seeing Qiyun Tianzuan's concern, Gu Jian Tianzuan said again, "I know what you are worried about, and I also understand the truth that if you stay for a long time you will lose it. Therefore, I plan to lead all the patrolling Tianzuan to rush out when the world monsters are slack, and concentrate on killing a few real immortal level world monsters, weakening the arrogance of the world monsters." Hearing this, Heavenly Venerate Qiyun nodded, "That's all. This strategy is not very clever, but under the absolute strength gap, there is no better way to break the game. Can't give up the main city of the Ninth War Zone. Abandoning the main city of the Ninth Garrison Theater means giving up the entire Ninth Garrison Theater. If this is the case, Yaoting can rely on this strategy to nibble away the defense line of the human race step by step, and finally invade the city of Tianzuan City. Therefore, this time, even if it is desperate, Gu Jian Tianzuan will take a few bites of these 53 true immortal level demons. If you don't hate them and hurt them, the human race will inevitably be wiped out after this battle. The world demon's offensive continues. But what made Gu Jian Tianzuan embarrassed was that none of the enemy's 53 true immortal level powerhouses actually participated in the siege, but just watched from a distance in the army. It seems that they are indifferent to the casualties of the underworld demons. Also, the real demon world is far wider than the Phoenix Meteor world, and there are as many demons in the bottom realm. How could the demon court feel distressed? On the contrary, these real immortal level world demons are the core combat power of the demon court, and they must not be lost. The real immortal level world monsters in the demon court are really ruthless. Qiyun Tianzuan watched a golden light erupt from the main city, and he wiped out an unknown number of world monsters with one blow, and said with hatred. Gu Jian Tianzuan also had a gloomy expression on his face. If the enemy's true immortal level world demon does not participate in the siege, they will not be able to seize the opportunity to concentrate their firepower to kill the opponent. The enemy also knew the strength of Gu Jian Tianzuan and did not dare to give him any chance. Back then, when the ancient sword Tianzuan became famous, he killed a true immortal level world demon with one sword. Yaoting has long recorded detailed records of the long-established powerhouses of the human race. On the contrary, it is the human race that does not know much about the powerhouses of Yaoting. There is no way. The strength of the demon court is far stronger than the human race. They have never attacked the human race with all their strength, and the human race naturally cannot understand the depth of the demon court. As for the holy ancient demon realm among the 4 major demon realms of the true demon realm, the human race knows even less. All in all, the human race can survive for so long after the end of the ancient times. The human race itself is one aspect, but more importantly, the world monster has never dealt with the human race with all its strength. Otherwise, before Chen Daoxian was born, the human race in Fengyun realm would have already been wiped out. These guys are really tough. Gu Jian Tianzuan sighed. Guard the 9th theater. Haoyue City. It's really tough. Haoyue Qingqing mobilized the immortal city with all his strength, and forced back the real immortal level world demon who kept attacking, frowning. Beside her, there were 2 female cultivators who were controlling the insect soldiers. It was Fei Qinxue and her disciple Qi Yao. Lanxue Tianzuan, concubine Qinxue, looked at the pale-faced Haoyue town guard. Let's hold the 2 of them, you can rest for a while. It is good. This cultivator named Lanxue Tianzuan is just a Wuxia Tianzuan, and his cultivation level is comparable to that of Chen Daoxian before he entered the world of the immortal tomb. It's just that Haoyue City is only a small immortal city in the 9th war zone, and its status is not even comparable to that of Yaoguang City where Chen Daoxian served. It is also extremely normal for the human race to send a 5 tribulations heavenly venerate to guard. It is impossible for the human race to be so extravagant that every immortal city is sent to guard the 7 tribulations or even the 8 tribulations heavenly venerate, and the human race does not have so many high-level heavenly venerates. However, the strength of Haoyue City guarded by the 5 tribulations heavenly venerate in a short period of time may not be weaker than that of the 5 rivers heavenly venerate who guarded Yaoguang City at the beginning. In the final analysis, the reason why these immortal cities can burst into strength comparable to true immortals is that they rely on the immortal cities themselves and the formations arranged in the ancient times, rather than simply relying on the strength of the human race. Generally speaking, if the cultivation base can reach the 4 tribulations heavenly venerate, then the full power of a human acropolis can be exerted. Of course, in the main city of the human race, non-8 tribulations heavenly venerate cannot exert all their power. This is also the reason why the human race attaches so much importance to the 8 tribulations heavenly venerate. Every main city guarded by the 8 tribulations heavenly venerate can have a defensive power comparable to the pinnacle of a true immortal. Although the offensive ability is only equivalent to the late stage of the true immortal for the human race, it is enough for them to maintain the overall control of the war zones in their own hands. In a human race main city equivalent to the pinnacle of the true immortal level, the world demon side would not be able to attack it without sending dozens of true immortal level world monsters to besiege it. Coincidentally, the real immortal level world demon who was entangled with Lanxue Tianzuan was none other than the Jinpeng world demon who attacked Yaoguang City. It is the ancestor of the Jinpeng world demon, and it has the name of the emperor in the demon court. Of course, the name of the emperor's teacher is nothing. In the demon court, any real immortal level world demon will be named the emperor's teacher, just like the demon general. What really caught the eye was the strength of this Jinpeng monster. At the beginning, this Jinpeng world monster fought against Ini Tianzuan, but finally retreated. Although in terms of strength, this Jinpeng world monster is weaker than Ini Tianzuan, but it is not comparable to ordinary real fairy level world monsters. Its strength has already reached the middle stage of true immortal. Otherwise, in just 3 days, Lanxue Tianzuan could not be forced to the point where he had to rest. Little girl, just you want to hold me and brother Xiang? Outside Haoyue City, 2 world monsters covered the sky and the sun, and they looked almost bigger than Haoyue City. Concubine Chengshu's pretty face was solemn. She raised her eyebrows and said, "Can you block it? You can try it." As she said that, a larger golden light spot gushed out from the Dong Tian magic weapon around her waist. It was the insect soldier that Chen Daoxian handed over to her. However, compared with the insect soldiers in Chen Daoxian's hands, the insect soldiers in Feikings's hands were of a higher level. The insect soldiers in Chen Daoxian's hands have only been promoted to the 6th rank, which is equivalent to the creation of the human race. And the insect soldiers in Fei Chengshu's hands were actually all 7th rank. 7th order, that has the strength equivalent to the heavenly lord of tribulation, and it is not an ordinary heavenly lord of 1 or 2 tribulations. At least it is equivalent to the middle-level Tianzuan. It is conceivable that in the past 10 years, Fei Chengsu controlled the insect soldiers to kill and devour how many world monsters? There are nearly 5,000 7th-order insect soldiers, Even if there are two true immortal level world monsters on the side of the world this time, they would not dare to fall into the siege of so many insect soldiers. For a long time, the two world monsters have relied on a faster escape speed to avoid the siege of the insect soldiers. On the contrary, their attacks can knock up many 7th order insect soldiers every time. Although the insect soldiers gathered together, it was difficult to be destroyed by them in one blow, but the long-term attack also caused Fei Qinxue to damage a lot of insect soldiers. Today she has damaged hundreds of 7th order insect soldiers. Moreover, with the decrease in the number of insect soldiers, the pressure of the two true immortal level world monsters against the insect soldiers became less and less, and they naturally became more comfortable in dealing with them. Seeing the Jinping world demon dodging from left to right in the swarm, Fei Qinxue hated. Compared with the pictographic world monster, this Jinping world monster is more flexible, and it is more difficult for insect soldiers to besiege it. In addition, they seem to have experience in dealing with insect soldiers, they do not block the void at all, and can rely on speed and teleportation to avoid the siege of insect soldiers, which makes Fei Qinxue unable to take them. Damn. If it wasn't for the insect soldiers who were promoted to the 7th rank, they couldn't be promoted again. It's your too arrogant turn today. Fei Qinxue secretly hated in her heart. She was resentful, and the Jinping world demon felt even more resentful the first time she saw the insect soldier. You know, his most proud disciple died at the hands of Qin Daoxuan's insect soldiers. Jinping world demon can see that the insect soldier in Qin Daoxuan's hand and the insect soldier in this girl's hand are the same. It has been fighting with the human race for many years, and it is the first time that it has encountered a Taoist soldier like the insect soldier. Therefore, it guessed that this girl must have an unusual relationship with the male monk who killed her disciple that day. Thinking of this, Jinping world demon tentatively said, "Speaking of which, the worm-shaped Taoist soldier in your hand, girl, is much sharper than the worm-shaped Taoist soldier in the hands of the kid I met last time." What? Hearing this, the offensive in Fei Qinxue's hands couldn't help but stop. See? The pictographic demon who was dodging the siege of the insect soldiers on the side flashed light. Good chance. I saw its figure instantly disappear in place, and the next moment, its figure appeared in front of Haoyue City. I saw it suddenly raised its elephant's palm and stepped towards Haoyue City with all its strength. Boom. The golden light shield on Haoyue City swayed violently, and Lanxue Tianzuan, who was adjusting his breath, immediately spit out a mouthful of golden blood, and his breath instantly wilted. Hey little girl, don't be distracted when fighting. Jinping world demon sneered aside. Concubine Qinxue saw that Lanxue Tianzuan was seriously injured due to her distraction, and immediately felt a trace of guilt in her heart. But now she doesn't care about Lanxue Tianzuan at all. While controlling the insect soldiers to continue chasing the elephant demon, she said solemnly to the Jinping world demon, "Is this true?" "Certainly." Jinping world demon said while dodging, "I have nothing to do to deceive you, this little doll. It's a pity that although that kid has many insect soldiers, the most powerful ones are only tier 6. If you want to besiege me like you, it is far from being possible." Hearing this, Fei Qinxue's heart twitched and her face turned pale. Not only her, Qi Yao next to Fei Qinxue also turned pale, but soon she firmly said, "You are talking nonsense and you want to kill Qin Daoxian?" It turns out that the boy in white is called Qin Daoxian. Jinping world demon nodded. It saw that the two female cultivators who controlled the insect soldiers were so excited, and secretly guessed in their hearts, shouldn't these two be the Taoist companions of his murderous enemy? Thinking of this, the Jinping world demon came up with a plan and said coldly, "Whether the 6th order Taoist soldiers can block me, I believe that the two who hold the insect-shaped Taoist soldiers know better than me. Moreover, since I met him and stood here intact, how will it end? Do you two have any doubts?" Hearing this, Qi Yao, who was originally firm in her heart, also began to shake. This Jinping world monster must have met Qin Daoxian, otherwise he would never have said something like, "That kid also has insect soldiers." Lanxue Tianzuan saw that concubine Qinxue and Qi Yao's hearts were shaken, and he didn't care about the injury and said loudly, "Qinxue, Qi Yao, don't listen to its nonsense, the most important thing now is to defend Haoyue City." After all, Fei Qinxue was a woman who had experienced strong winds and waves. She forcibly suppressed the sadness and fear in her heart, and nodded firmly. As for Qi Yao, she is far from having the Taoism of her master. In order to escape everything, she fled to the battlefield outside the territory, but she still did not escape the name Qin Daoxian. But now, a real immortal level world demon told her that Qin Daoxian was dead and was killed by it. This made Qi Yao's heart empty. Even the insect soldiers controlled by her became stiff. Feeling that the pressure caused by the insect soldiers is getting less and less, the Jinpeng World Demon is very proud. It knew that its way of disrupting the enemy's fighting spirit had worked. Seeing this scene, Jinpeng World Demon continued to add fuel to his jealousy and said, "Speaking of which, although that kid's insect soldier is not strong enough, it did cause me a lot of trouble, but unfortunately he was finally swallowed by this seed. It's a pity that the cultivation of the third floor of the world does not bring much benefit to this seat." Having said that, Jinpeng World Demon also deliberately conveyed pity to Fei Qinxue and Qi Yao. "I kill you." Qi Yao couldn't bear it anymore. She no longer cared about the pictographic realm demon, and immediately controlled all the insect soldiers to kill the Jinpeng realm demon. Losing the constraints of Qi Yao's insect soldiers, the elephant demon escaped again. Its eyes brightened and it said secretly, "What a fool." I saw it flashed and disappeared again. Immediately afterwards, an incomparably huge elephant palm stepped down towards Haoyue City again. This time the elephant demon was more fully prepared and used a special secret technique, which made the power of this kick skyrocket by a notch. If this blow is taken seriously with the current state of Lanshui Tianzuan, it is very likely that Haoyue City will be defeated. Inside Haoyue City, countless human race cultivators looked at the scene that covered the sky, despairing. Right at this moment, a white figure suddenly appeared outside Haoyue City's golden light shield. He stretched out a palm and pushed it upwards. Compared to the elephant palm that covered the sky, the Taoist man in white was as insignificant as dust, not to mention his palm. But this hand held the sky that was about to collapse. All the monks in Haoyue City, including Lanshui Tianzuan, Fei Qinxue and Qi Yao, were all stunned. The Jinpeng World Demon was also stunned. It is really this picture too visually impactful. Holding the sky with one hand like a god. Immediately afterwards, 1,800 acupoints and stars exploded with all their strength. With the blessing of a true immortal, Qin Daoxian threw the monster with a huge monster body hundreds of thousands of feet away. At this time, Qin Daoxian turned his head, looked at the Jinpeng World Demon and said word by word, "You said, who did you swallow?" Being watched by Qin Daoxian with such scrutiny eyes, Jinpeng World Demon couldn't help shivering for some reason. 7017K. Please remember this book's first domain name. Mobile version reading website, WAP. Chapter 519. Qin Lang. Inside Haoyue City, a shadowy figure flew out of Haoyue City's golden light shield regardless of who it was. Who was concubine Qinxue, who had been separated for more than 10 years. The beauty fell into his arms, and Qin Daoxian couldn't help hugging her tightly. In the city, Qi Yao's excitement after seeing that Qin Daoxian was safe and sound, also shattered with the scene in front of him. Qin Daoxian. Outside Haoyue City, the Jinpeng Realm Demon saw Qin Daoxian and Fei Qinxue, and they kissed me in front of him. The fear of Qin Daoxian's action in his heart suddenly turned into a monstrous anger. Death to me. The Jinpeng World Demon incited its golden wings and rushed towards Qin Daoxian. Qin Daoxian blocked concubine Qinxue behind him, and at the same time, his figure soared, and the 100,000 Zhang divine body appeared again. Feeling the real immortal level coercion emanating from Qin Daoxian's body, the Jinpeng World Demon did not dare to be careless, and hurriedly said to its companion, "Brother Xiang, let's kill him together." "It is good." The elephant demon that was thrown out by Qin Daoxian's hand also adjusted its figure and collapsed towards Qin Daoxian with great strides again. These two world monsters are all mid-term true immortals, and relying on the strength of Qin Daoxian's star technique alone, I am afraid it is not enough to deal with. But the three forms of Kai Tian broke out with the divine body, and the situation was quite different. In the battle with the Yaoting Emperor, Qin Daoxian had a clear understanding of his own strength. If you use the power of the astrological explosion to perform the first style of the day, its attack power is about the same as the most common peak of true immortals. The Demon Court Emperor holds a stick-shaped pure yang fairy weapon, which is roughly equivalent to a casual blow. But if Qin Daoxian performed the second style of Kai Tian, even if the Demon Court Emperor displayed the unique technique of a six-armed attack, he would not be able to resist Qin Daoxian's attack. The most important thing is that Qin Daoxian used the power of the astrology to perform the second style of the sky, and he did not need to burn the divine body. In other words, the constellation technique plus the second form of opening the sky is considered to be Qin Daoxian's regular moves. Further up, it is the burning of the divine body. Thanks to the rapid recovery of the divine body in the Hongmeng Enlightenment Classic, Qin Daoxian burns the divine body and is no longer as careful as before. Although it cannot be used as a regular method, it is no longer a desperate move. Once he burns more than 30% of his divine body, coupled with the power of the constellation technique, the basic power of Qin Daoxuan's explosion can already be comparable to the late stage of the true immortal. Coupled with the second form of Kai Tian, Qin Daoxian once broke through the defense of Tianzuan City. And Tianzuan City is said to be indestructible without the immortals of the earth. It can be seen that Qin Daoxuan's blow has touched the threshold of the immortals. It is also the most powerful force that Qin Daoxian can explode so far. Of course, Qin Daoxian naturally couldn't use this method for the two real immortal middle-stage demons, Jinping Realm Demon and Elephant Demon. To deal with them, the most common Kai Tian first style is enough. Kill immortals. Looking at the two world monsters rushing towards him, Qin Daoxian looked indifferent and swept his axe. Facing this axe, the Jinping Realm Demon felt a tremor in the soul madly hit it. Danger. In the face of the mental madness warning, Jinping World Demon decisively chose to sell his teammates. Its golden wings fanned wildly, the secret escape technique broke out, and the huge monster body turned into a golden light, immediately shrank behind the elephant monster and quickly evacuated. Although the poor elephant demon is full of explosive power, compared with the Jinping World Demon, its escape light is too far behind. Seeing Qin Daoxuan's axe, it also wanted to hide but couldn't react at all. Laugh. A terrifying axe light tore apart the huge demon body of the elephant demon, and cut off a wing along with the Jinping World Demon that was hiding behind it. What? The Jinping World Demon let out a scream. As for the elephant demon, it didn't even scream, and was cut into nothingness by Qin Daoxian with an axe. Escape. How dare the Jinping World Monster dare to fight Qin Daoxian again? It flutters its only golden wings and wants to fly away. As for the other wing, it is slowly recovering. It has to be said that after breaking through to the true immortal level, the demon body of the world demon becomes even more terrifying, especially its resilience. As long as there is no one-shot kill, it can quickly recover. But even so, Qin Daoxuan's axe also caused absolute heavy damage to the Jinping World Demon. This can be seen from the slow recovery speed of its broken wings. At the beginning, Ini Tianzuan also injured the opponent, but it could recover instantly, but this time it was hit hard by Qin Daoxian, and the broken part of its wings seemed to be entangled by a terrifying force, making it extremely difficult to recover from the injury. If the Demon Court Emperor was here, he would be able to recognize the power at the break of the Jinping World Demon's wings at a glance, because it was also deeply troubled by this power. This power is exactly what Qin Daoxian realized from Kai Tian Xinyun. Compared with the god of Pangu, this power is naturally too far behind, but compared to the immortal power of other true immortals, this power is undoubtedly much more difficult to deal with. Qin Daoxian has a cheeky face, so he also called it Kai Tian Xinyun. Of course, this is just his private name for this power. Do you still want to run? Qin Daoxian saw the Jinping World Demon struggling, and still wanted to use the golden light escape technique to escape, but he would not give him this chance again this time. I saw Qin Daoxuan's figure flashing, and he stepped on the top of the Jinping World Monster's head. The Jinping Realm Demon's light escape secret technique was interrupted instantly. Forgive your life, Shangxin, spare your life. The Jinping World Demon has cultivated to this day, and naturally does not want to die. It quickly said, I would like to take refuge in Shangxin and be a mount for Shangxin. My Jinping family is especially good at escaping speed, and my speed is very fast. The Jinping World Monster was afraid that Qin Daoxian would disagree, so he chopped off its head with an axe, directly explaining his advantages. Sure enough, Qin Daoxian really stopped when he heard the Jinping World Demon saying that he was good at speed. Because the Jinping World Demon was speaking of Qin Daoxuan's heart, his escape speed was very slow. At least at the level of a true immortal, it's very slow. Although the Kai Tian 3 style can make his attack power skyrocket to a level comparable to that of an Earth immortal, his escaping speed in the final analysis is only at the level of an ordinary true immortal. This still relies on the power of the constellation technique. Otherwise his escaping speed is only at the level of the ordinary 8 tribulations heavenly venerate. Not to mention, compared with the peak of the true immortals, it is the ordinary true immortal level world demon who is good at escaping speed. Qin Daoxian saw the speed of the Jinping monster's escape. Even the first style of the opening of the sky that he broke out can be avoided, which shows how fast he escapes. At the beginning, Ini Tianzuan didn't chase down the Jinping World Demon because its escaping speed was too fast. Even the silver-winged Tianzuan, who is the most good at escaping light among the human race, was not sure to catch up with the other party, so he simply let the other party go. However, such a true immortal level world demon who is good at escaping speed has to take the initiative to act as Qin Daoxuan's mount. How do I know you didn't lie to me? Qin Daoxian directly put the Pangu axe on the neck of the Jinping demon. I would like to sign a soul contract with you, master. The soul contract is a kind of soul contract similar to soul seal. Seeing that the other party really had the heart of surrender, Qin Daoxian was finally moved. Okay, let go of your soul, don't resist. Qin Daoxian ordered. The Jinping world demon did not dare to resist, and Qin Daoxian skillfully engraved the soul seal, secret seal on his soul. Qin Daoxian breathed a sigh of relief when he saw that he really planted a soul imprint in the soul of the Jinping world demon, and he was immediately overjoyed. The speed of escape is slow, which is one of his current shortcomings. Now that he has this Jinping world demon, this shortcoming has finally been filled. You must know that even in the huge real demon world, the speed of the Jinping family is second to none. As the ancestor of the Jinping family, it is conceivable how fast this Jinping world monster escapes. If it turned around and ran away as soon as it met Qin Daoxian really had no good way to take it. It's a pity that it actually dared to attack Qin Daoxian. That's why it became Qin Daoxuan's mount. Now that he has become his own mount, Qin Daoxian will naturally not leave Kaitian Xinyun to continue torturing the other party. As soon as he waved his hand, he immediately erased the open sky charm at the broken wings of the Jinping realm demon. Losing the suppression of Kaitian Xinyun, the wings of the Jinping world demon that had been cut off by Qin Daoxian recovered almost instantly. Thank you, master. Jinping world demon is very knowledgeable about practical matters, and quickly set his position. Qin Daoxian saw that it had assumed the role of a mount so quickly, and nodded with satisfaction. Condensed the demon body, let's go down. Yes, master. The Jinping world demon did not dare to resist, and immediately retracted its demon body and returned to its human form. In general, although Jinping's humanoid appearance is a little dark in temperament, it is very handsome and looks quite pleasing to the eye. Walk. Qin Daoxian didn't talk nonsense, and with a flash of light, he flew into Haoyue City. However, the Jinping world demon was blocked by Haoyue City's golden light shield. Qin Daoxian flew straight to the side of concubine Qinshui and Lanshui Tianzuan, and bowed to the town show Lanshui Tianzuan. There are so many heavenly venerates of the human race. This Lanshui heavenly venerate, Qin Daoxian, had seen it at the heavenly venerate meeting. Since the immortal city she guarded was where concubine Qinshui served, of course Qin Daoxian remembered the other party. It was the first time for the two of them to just talk to them. In the face of Qin Daoxian, the peerless arrogance of the human race, no, it should be the peak powerhouse of the human race, Lanshui Tianzuan naturally did not dare to neglect at all, and even there was a trace of fear in her heart. Although Lanshui Tianzan's own strength is not strong, she can see that Qin Daoxuan's strength seems to be even better than Gujian Tianzuan. Slaughter Emperor Tianzuan. Lanshui Tianzan's first reaction was to think of Emperor Slaughter Tianzuan. One of the purposes of the last Tianzuan meeting was to let Qin Daoxian go to the immortal tomb to accept the inheritance of the Emperor Slaughter Tianzuan. Now it seems that he succeeded. Otherwise, there is no way to explain why his strength has become so terrifying. Thinking of this, a flash of excitement flashed across Lanshui Tianzan's Jianghu face. Seeing Lanshui Tianzuan hesitated, Qin Daoxian smiled and said, Lanshui Tianzuan called me by my name. Lanshui Tianzuan nodded. Okay, Daoyu Qin, you can just call me Lanshui. Qin Daoxian nodded. Lanshui, how is the situation in the 9 war zone now? Very bad. Talking about the situation in the 9th war zone, Lanshui Tianzuan frowned. As far as I know, our Acropolis is not bad, only scattered real immortal level world monsters are besieged, while the main city of the 9th war zone is surrounded by dozens of real people. Immortal level demon besieged. However, except for Lingyu Tianzuan and the Silver Wing Tianzuan who guarded Yaoguang City, all of our human inspection Tianzuan went to the main city, so you don't need to worry too much. Hearing that the Jiao war zone was besieged by dozens of true immortal level demons, Qin Daoxuan's heart immediately became hot. Dozens of true immortal level world demons, let's start with you. Qin Daoxian secretly said. Lanshui, I have to go to help Gujian Tianzuan and them, you? Lanshui Tianzuan shook his head and said, Fellow Daoist Qin, don't worry about me, you kill and recover 2 true immortal level world demons. The danger of Haoyue City has been resolved, just help Gujian Tianzuan and the others. Qin Daoxian nodded, then looked at concubine Qinshui and Qi Yao again. But Qi Yao lowered her head instinctively when she saw Qin Daoxian looking at him. Qin Daoxian didn't care about this either, and ordered, You and Lanshui Tianzuan are responsible for guarding Haoyue City, and am going to support Gujian Tianzuan. Fei Qinxue nodded and said, be careful. She neither blocked nor proposed peers. Because she knew that this was the best support for Qin Daoxian. It is good. Qin Daoxian took one last look at Qi Yao, and then he didn't say anything and flew out of Haoyue City in a flash of light. He teleported directly from Tianzuan City to Haoyue City to rescue the siege of Haoyue City. Of course he had selfish intentions. Now that the selfishness has been resolved, the rest, of course, has to solve the siege of the world demon in the entire 9-war zone. Boom. Qin Daoxuan's escape light fell on the Jinpeng world demon who had recovered his demon body again, and shouted, go to Fuyuan City. The Jinpeng world demon turned into a ray of light and flew towards Fuyuan City, the main city of the Geo war zone. Sitting on top of the Jinpeng world demon, Qin Daoxian sighed, you are really not bragging, the speed of escaping is really extraordinary, actually much faster than the speed of my human race light boat. Hearing Qin Daoxuan's praise, the Jinpeng world demon looked complicated, but now it has signed a soul contract with Qin Daoxian, and believes that it is the master, so don't think about rebellion. By the way, I forgot to ask, what's your name? Jinpeng world demon immediately replied, my name is. But before it was finished, Qin Daoxian waved his hand, forget it, the previous name doesn't matter, I'll give you a new name. Seeing your Jinyu will call you Xiaojin. Jinpeng world demon. Xiaojin is Xiaojin and the owner recognizes it. What is a name? Xiaojin, how is your speed at the level of a true immortal? When Xiaojin heard this, his expression flashed a hint of arrogance. In the demon court, there is only one who can escape faster than me. Oh. Qin Daoxian was startled. Emperor of the demon court is actually faster than you? Who knows? Xiaojin shook his head and said, although the emperor is strong, he is only as fast as me. I'm talking about the demon saint. Monster saint? This is the first time Qin Daoxian has heard the name of the demon saint. For a long time, he thought that the demon court emperor was the first powerhouse in the demon court. He had chased Yaoting emperor like a lost dog before, and he couldn't help but look down on Yaoting in his heart. Now he learned from Xiaojin's mouth that there is actually a demon saint in Yaoting. This can't help but make Qin Daoxian a little irritable. The demon court, or the real background of the demon world, is far more terrifying than the human race guessed. Is the demon saint strong? Qin Daoxian asked in a deep voice. Master Yaoxing is an Earth Immortal level powerhouse. Earth Immortal. Qin Daoxian was shocked. In the lower realm, how can there be Earth Immortals? 7017K. Please remember this book's first domain name. Mobile version reading website. WAP. Chapter 520. True Demon World. Greedy Wolf Demon Domain. A figure shuttled between the majestic buildings of Yaoting in a woeful way. During this period, some people saw this worrisome figure and knelt down to him in a salute, but did not let the figure stop. This embarrassed figure is the Demon Court Emperor who escaped from the hinterland of the human race. Finally, the Demon Court Emperor, whose body was covered with cracks, stopped in front of a quaint palace. Lord Monster Saint. Looking at the quaint palace in front of him, the Yaoting Emperor fell to his knees with a plop and whined. Oh, little monkey, how did you do this? An old voice came into the ears of the Yaoting Emperor. When he raised his head, the scene in front of him had changed greatly. It was already in a simple palace, and an old man with immortal style appeared in front of him. I don't know, I thought it was a fairy from the human race who became immortal. The person in front of him is the demon sage in the mouth of the Demon Court Emperor, and the biggest backer of the Demon Court's unification of the true demon realm. Master Demon Saint. At the moment, the Demon Court Emperor, 1510, told all his experiences without concealment. You actually lost in the hands of a human cultivator, and that human cultivator is not yet a true immortal? The face of the Blue Bull Demon Saint finally changed. Yes. The Yaoting Emperor's face paled. I lost. That human cultivator named Qin Daoxian inherited the lineage of Emperor Slaughter Tianzuan. Hearing this, the Green Bull Demon Sage shook his head. The Emperor Slaughter Heavenly Venerate is not so powerful. This? The Demon Court Emperor was stunned. After all, Emperor Slaughter Tianzuan was a character from 200,000 years ago. At that time, it had not yet broken through to the true immortal level, and he had no idea how strong the Emperor Slaughter Tianzuan was. It only knows that his father, the Emperor, died at the hands of the Emperor Slaughtering Heavenly Venerate. Little monkey, your strength has already surpassed your father's Emperor, even if it is compared with the Emperor Slaughter Heavenly Venerate back then, it is not inferior, perhaps even better. The green bull demon sage murmured, "How could the inheritor of the emperor's slaughter heavenly venerate hurt you?" This is what the Qingyo demon sage told it more than once, and this is also the greatest confidence for the demon court emperor to dare to rush to the hinterland of the human race to kill Qin Daoxian. Even the emperor slaughtering heavenly venerate may not be his opponent, let alone a small 5 tribulations heavenly venerate who inherited the other party's lineage. In order to kill Qin Daoxian, the dignified demon court emperor personally went into action, which was already the safest way he could think of. However, it is so safe it still loses, even if it is not for Lingyu Tianzhen's cover. It has now died in the hinterland of the human race, which makes the Yaoting emperor how to let go. Seeing Yaoting emperor stunned and speechless, Qingyo Yaoxing sighed, "Don't think about it for now, let me see your injury." After all, the Qingyo Yaoxing waved his hand gently, and the body of the Yaoting emperor suddenly dispersed, turning into a little monkey with golden hair all over his body. When the blue bull demon saint stretched out his hand, the golden monkey jumped to its palm. Immediately, a cyan demonic force enveloped the golden monkey's body. Soon, the Qingyo demon sage discovered the heaven-opening verve hovering around the demon court emperor. This is... Faintly, there was a strong excitement in the tone of the blue bull demon saint, but soon this emotion was suppressed by him. It began to try to use its own demon power to clean up the heaven-opening charm for the demon court emperor, but it immediately discovered that although his demon power was strong, it couldn't shake the heaven-opening charm at the demon court emperor's wound at all. Not only that, its demonic power was actually absorbed by the Kaitian charm at the wound of the demon court emperor, making it even stronger. Feeling the pain at the wound, Yaoting emperor's face paled even more. The green bull demon sage did not dare to neglect and said, "Your injury is very difficult, I have to take you to the holy ancient demon realm." Hearing the ancient demon domain, the holy land of the world demon, the eyes of the demon court emperor flickered. After all, he nodded in agreement and cupped his hands. It's all according to the instructions of the demon saint. The green bull demon sage's face was full of smiles, but he secretly said in his heart, as expected of the spirit of opening the sky, it really is extremely difficult to deal with. Guard the 9th theater. Fuyuan City. The ancient sword Tianzhen's robe was stained with blood, and he looked at the real immortal level world demon outside the city. Just before that, their 25 patrolling Tianzuan rushed out, and together they killed a real fairy-level demon in the demon court, but the human race couldn't get any benefits and the loss was even greater. 25 people from the human race inspected Tianzuan, and now there are only 23 left and 2 have been damaged. 1 for 2, the disadvantage of the human race is even greater. But this is also something that can't be helped. The strength of the human race is not as good as that of the upper world demon, and the real immortals on the side of the world demon are extraordinarily wretched, and they will not give people a chance at all. The two sides have been fighting for so many years, even if they are fools, they have become human essence until now. The human race wants to use the negligence of the world demon to obtain more results, which is simply a dream. In the past, in order to unify the real demon world, the demon court couldn't bring out too much power to deal with the human race. But now, Yaoting only showed a small part of its strength and the human race couldn't stand it anymore. If the army is overwhelmed, it will definitely be able to easily take down the human race. Gu Jian, what should we do now? With the screams of killing outside the city, Qiyun Tianzuan said with a pale face, "Get out. If we fight again, the power of our human race will all be damaged here. There are so many immortal cities in the 9th war zone, even if the world monsters occupy it, they must send a large number of true immortal level world monsters to guard, otherwise my human race can seize the city at any time. As long as I take away the heavenly venerate, my human race will one day be able to recapture the lost immortal city." Hearing Qiyun Tianzhen's deafening voice, Gu Jian Tianzhen's hand trembled slightly. "Take it back. Can you get it back? Since ancient times, no, since the end of the era of Emperor Slaughter Tianzuan, how many immortal cities have fallen into the hands of the world monsters, and how many have been recaptured now? None. The strength of the world demon is far superior to that of the human race, and it is simply not reliable to rely on the method of dispersing the forces of the true immortal level world demon. Yes, the withdrawal of the human race from the 9th war zone can indeed keep the few human beings who patrol the heavenly venerate and keep the heavenly venerate in the major immortal cities of the human race. But what about Xianqing? What about the countless ordinary human monks in the major immortal cities? It is impossible for the human race to retreat with all the monks. Retreat with the heavenly venerate of all races in the mouth of Qiyun Tianzuan is an extremely optimistic idea. The real situation is that the human race can only rely on these inspection Tianzins to bring other Tianzins to break through. You must know that in order to wipe out the elite power of the human race, the world demon completely locked the void after inspecting the Tianzuan to enter the net. Now in this void, any means of teleportation, world teleportation, etc. cannot be used at all. Human monks want to kill only by breaking through. However, there are still 52 true immortal level powerhouses on the side of the world demon, while the human race has only 23 patrolling Tianzuan. Do you want to break out of the encirclement? Impossible things. This point, whether it is Qiyun Tianzuan or Gujian Tianzuan, all know well. But at this juncture, no one wants to say anything that is discouraged. Breakthrough seems to be the only option. Gujian. If we continue to consume it, our losses will be even greater. We are not as strong as others, let's break through. Qiyun Tianzin's voice was heavy. I wanted to rescue Fuyuan City, but I didn't expect to bring almost all of the human race to inspect Tianzuan to fall here. Thinking of this, Gujian Tianzuan was in a terrible mood. Gujian Tianzuan is also a decisive person, and he immediately found the guardian of Fuyuan town roughing Tianzuan. When Tianzuan roughing heard Gujian Tianzin's suggestion to break out of the encirclement, he was stunned for a moment, and then laughed. Gujian, everyone break through the encirclement and leave me alone. Furious. Tianzuan roughing, don't be impatient. Yeah, we will retake Fuyuan City sooner or later. Many heavenly venerates have persuaded. However, Tianzuan roughing kept shaking his head and said with a smile, Gujian, everyone, you know how many years have I been guarding here? For more than 50,000 years, it is no exaggeration to say that since I broke through to the calamity period, all the time and hard work have been left in this fairy city. While controlling Fuyuan Xianqing and resisting the attack of the world monsters, Tianzuan Lifeng talked eloquently. For so many years, such as the situation in front of this world demon besieging Fuyuan City, he did not know how much he had experienced and he was already extremely skilled. He was even in the mood to say a final goodbye to everyone. I don't want to run away. Lufeng Tianzuan said solemnly, for more than 50,000 years, I've had enough of this kind of life. I have seen too many juniors who served in my Fuyuan City and died in battle. Their blood and corpses are like monuments, building this Fuyuan City together. Everyone, I can't abandon it, I can't do it. At the end, Lu Feng Tianzin's eyes turned red. Including Gujian Tianzuan, everyone was silent. Yes, they have been guarding this fairy city for more than 50,000 years. The lifespan of an 8 tribulations heavenly venerate is only 90,000 years. It can be said that for the sake of Fuyuan Immortal City, Lufeng Tianzuan paid everything. It is no exaggeration to say that this fairy city is the whole meaning of his life. Other heavenly venerates can give up the immortal city of Fuyuan from the perspective of preserving the vitality of the human race, but he can't fight against the wind heavenly venerate. He can't do it. Gujian, let's go. Everyone was motionless and all looked at him solemnly, even the most ruthless inspector of Tianzuan. At this moment, his eyes were red. Brutal wind, cherish. Brutal wind, cherish it. Gujian Tianzuan clenched his fists towards him. Everyone clasped their fists at him. At this moment, an inexplicable thing stirred and burned in everyone's chest. You gentlemen, cherish. Lifeng Tianzuan raised his sleeves with both hands and smiled at everyone. With this smile, he forgot the gains and losses and forgot about life and death. Let's go break through. Gujian Tianzuan roared in a low voice. Roughing Tianzuan has something he wants to protect, and Gujian Tianzuan also has something he wants to protect. Their goals are different but their aspirations are the same. Looking at the inspection Tianzuan flying out of the city, the eyes of Lufeng Tianzuan became extremely determined. If you want to eat my Fuyuan city, you need to knock out a few teeth first. The next moment, the bright golden light broke out completely. Outside the city, countless world monsters were wiped out by the sudden burst of golden light and turned into nothingness. In the group of demons, the leader is a true immortal level world demon of the barbarian bull family. Speaking of which, this true immortal level world demon of the barbarian cattle family is still a distant relative of the Qingyo demon sage. Of course, whether the blue bull demon sage will recognize this distant relative, then maybe. But since this bull demon can lead more than 50 true immortal level demons, his strength is definitely not weak. That's the truth. The strength of this bullock demon has actually reached the late stage of the true immortal, and it is also the only one among the 53 true immortal level demons. As a matter of fact, this savage bull demon has never made a single shot so far. Even the last time Gujian Tianzuan led the team suddenly rushed out of Fuyuan Xianqing and fought the world demon, it didn't make a move. It's waiting. This time, when it saw the golden light of Fuyuan City burst out suddenly, and then Gu Jian Tianzuan took the lead in rushing out of the city, its eyes changed. Are you finally going to break through? This bullock demon grinned, revealing sharp teeth. Everyone, follow me to encircle the human monks. Yes, my lord. The rest of the true immortal level world demons joined in one after another. This time the world demon used all the power of the true immortal. Vows to eat all the inspection Tianzuan of the human race. Gu Jian Tianzuan saw this scene and also saw the intention of the world demon. He immediately pulled out the immortal sword he was carrying, and planned to fight the world demon for life and death. At this moment, a burst of golden light suddenly erupted from Fuyuan Immortal City, and the golden light, carrying terrifying coercion, slammed over the 52 true immortal level world demons. This burst of golden light was incomparably mighty, and it actually made the figures of 52 world monsters stunned. At the same time, the voice of roughing Tianzuan appeared at the same time in the 23 patrolling Tianzuan Sea of Consciousness. Walk! Gujian Tianzuan slashed out a sword in anger and shouted, Go! Only then did everyone extinguish their thoughts of fighting the world demon and break through in the agreed direction. Want to go? The bull demon grinned when he saw this scene. Today none of you can escape. After all, he took the lead in chasing the ancient sword Tianzuan. As a high-ranking member of the demon court, this savage bull realm knows Gujian Tianzan's status in the human race. It is no exaggeration to say that once the ancient sword Tianzuan died, the will of the human race to resist would be at least half damaged. As long as there is this victory, even if a few Terrans are finally released to inspect Tianzuan, it will not hurt. Thinking of this, the bull demon was even more excited. Gujian Tianzuan saw the bull demon who was chasing him alone, and immediately turned around and slashed at him with a sword. In the void, a sword light like the Milky Way hangs upside down, slaying the bull demon. Seeing this terrifying sword light that almost divided the void, the face of the bull demon's face suddenly became serious. This sword light made him feel the threat of death. As expected of the first monk of the human race, it's really interesting. Immediately, the bullock world demon no longer hides its clumsiness, and directly reveals the demon body. In an instant, a gigantic bull demon body that was nearly 1,000,000 zhang appeared in front of Gujian Tianzuan. Facing the Jingguang of Gujian Tianzuan, the bull lowered his head and used a bull horn to push towards Jingguang. The sword light collided with the tens of thousands of horns, and a dazzling light erupted. But in the endless void there was no sound at all. Everyone could only feel the terrifying pressure that erupted from the impact. Qin Daoxian also felt the terrifying coercion that erupted near Fuyuan City. He knew that the battle between the human race and the world demon was probably already heated up. Shaojin, speed up. Qin Daoxian ordered. Facing the master's order, the Jinpeng world demon did not dare to resist. Immediately, it displayed the secret technique of escaping light that it had escaped under Qin Daoxian's hands, and the entire demon body was wrapped in golden light. So fast. Qin Daoxian's pupils shrank. The other side. The bull demon smashed the sword light of the ancient sword Tianzuan, and the momentum did not decrease, and slammed directly towards the ancient sword Tianzuan. Unlike other heavenly venerates, the ancient sword did not display the Dharma image, but raised the fairy sword in his hand. The next moment, a huge world appeared above Gujian Tianzan's head. This world is at least hundreds of millions of feet in diameter. But if you look closely, this world is made up of countless sword chi. Pick me up, sword world. The extremely huge sword world was suppressed towards the bull demon. Gujian Tianzuan even saw fear in the eyes of the bull demon. Master Yaoxing, help. At a critical moment, a terrifying finger stretched out from the demon body of this bull demon. The next moment, this finger directly pierced Gujian Tianzan's sword world, and with unabated power, he crushed it towards Gujian Tianzuan. Earth immortal. Gujian Tianzuan was desperate. Just as he was about to die. Kill immortals. The terrifying giant finger did not fall, and a majestic figure stood in front of him. As for the terrifying giant finger, it was completely smashed by an axe light. Gujian Tianzuan recognized the person, and his face suddenly showed an unbelievable color. Qin Daoxian. 7017K. Please remember this book's first domain name. Mobile version reading website, WAP. Chapter 521. Yu. The bull demon looked at Qin Daoxian, his throat seemed to be blocked. One blow smashed the immortal technique sealed by the green bull demon saint in its body, such a fierce performance that the bull demon could hardly believe his eyes. Who is this person? It has never heard of such a strong person in the human race. For a time, the bull demon couldn't help being annoyed by Yaoding's negligence in the human race's intelligence work. If you know that the human race has such a strong person with its cautious nature, it is impossible to charge ahead. But now it's too late to say anything. The bull demon knows what to say now. Neither Gu Jian nor this unknown human race heavenly venerable can let it go. The fact is as it is expected. After Gu Jian, Tianzuan was briefly surprised. His face immediately showed ecstasy. Qin Daoxian, let's take action together and kill it. It is good. Although Qin Daoxian has absolute certainty to kill it, but he can bully the less with more, why not do it? This is a war between the human race and the world monsters. Qin Daoxian has never been a pedantic person, and he also pays attention to one-on-one with the enemy. Seeing this, the bull demon turned around and ran away. It's a pity that just after it escaped, it crashed into a world constructed by countless sword qi. It is the sword world displayed by the ancient sword Tianzuan. Before his sword world had not shown his power, he was shattered by the immortal finger of the seal of the green bull demon sage. Now, without the immortal technique that the green bull demon saint seals in the body of the bull realm demon, it clearly knows the horror of this move. The demon body of the bull realm is nearly 1,000,000 feet, but it is a pity that it is shrouded in the boundless sword world, like a bug caught in a spider web, unable to extricate itself. As for its escape, it has become a complete joke under the involvement of the sword world. Seeing this scene, Qin Daoxian looked at Gu Jian Tianzuan in surprise. You must know that this bull demon is a late-stage true immortal, and it is only a small realm worse than the demon court emperor. With such strength, he was pressed and beaten by the ancient sword Tianzuan. It can be seen that the strength of the ancient sword Tianzuan, even if it is not as good as the real fairy peak level world monster, the gap will not be too far. However, Qin Daoxian is still optimistic. Although the outbreak of the ancient sword Tianzuan is strong, but after all, he relies on the high-grade pure yang fairy sword in his hand and his superb swordsmanship. In terms of lasting combat power, only the ancient sword of the 8 tribulations is far from being on a par with the barbarian bull. In other words, if Qin Daoxian was not involved in this battle, the best outcome would be for Gu Jian Tianzuan to have the upper hand for a while, and then run for his life. Because of the sword world displayed by the ancient sword Tianzuan, it is difficult to kill the bull demon in an instant. Or as a real fairy mid-stage demon, the situation will be very different. Although the ancient sword Tianzuan still can't consume the real fairy mid-stage demon, but with his explosive power, it is enough to kill the opponent with one sword, so it does not need any staying power. Seeing that the bull demon was struggling in the sword world of the ancient sword Tianzuan, Qin Daoxian no longer hesitated, immediately raised the panga axe in his hand, and slashed towards the bull demon. Kill immortals. Performing the first style of opening the sky again, Gu Jian Tianzuan finally saw the power of this axe clearly. The pinnacle of true immortals. Gu Jian Tianzuan was shocked. No wonder he was able to smash that terrifying finger with an axe just now. The immortal art sealed by the green bull demon saint in the body of the bull realm demon is only a little stronger than Qin Daoxian's normal unfolding of the heavenly first form, not to mention reaching the level of earth immortal. A short distance away. It's just that this finger has the coercion that belongs to the earth immortal level, and it looks more bluffing. It's not that the blue bull demon sage cannot seal stronger immortal techniques, but the demon body of the bull demon cannot withstand stronger immortal techniques. As for the demon court emperor, unless it is the Qingyo demon saint, the immortal art it seals alone cannot compare to the demon court emperor's own strength. Do not. Looking at the bright axe light from top to bottom, the bull demon was desperate. But it is now trapped in the sword world of the ancient sword Tianzuan, and it can't do anything except resist this attack. Laugh. The dazzling light of the axe easily cut through the demon body of the bull demon, and the huge demon body was wiped out by Qin Daoxian with one blow. But after all, it is a world monster of the late stage of the true immortal. Although this blow has caused it to be absolutely severely damaged, it is not enough to kill it with one blow. No, don't kill me. I surrender. I surrender. The bull demon begged for mercy madly. It is a pity that this time, Qin Daoxian did not intend to let the other party go, because his hands were stained with the blood of too many human monks. Late. Qin Daoxian said something coldly and chopped off with his axe again. This time, Qin Daoxian completely annihilated the demon body and soul of the bull realm demon, and even the true immortal origin realm in his body was exposed, exuding an aura of dilapidation. This axe actually damaged the opponent's true immortal origin realm. Otherwise, with the tenacious vitality of the true immortal origin realm, Even if the world demon dies, the true immortal origin realm can maintain its vitality for thousands or even tens of thousands of years. Gu Jiantianzuan looked at the broken true immortal origin realm with a hint of pity in his eyes. It's just that Qin Daoxuan's words brought his mind back before he could regret it for long. Gu Jiantianzuan, you and I split up to support other Tianzuan. It is good. Although Gu Jiantianzan's face was pale and consumed a lot, his eyes were still very firm. Qin Daoxian didn't say anything, and immediately called Xiao Jin and rushed towards the battlefield closest to him. Unfortunately, while Qin Daoxian beheaded the Bull Realm Demon, all the real immortal level realm demons on the realm demon side began to flee frantically without saying a word. Don't give Qin Daoxian a chance to kill them at all. Nonsense, these world monsters can practice the level of true immortals, one is more shrewd than the other. Even the bull demon in the late stage of true immortal fell into the hands of Qin Daoxian, and the other party only used 2 moves. Wouldn't it be an axe to replace them? This kind of fierce people, where are they able to deal with? It is right to escape. Wanna run? No. Qin Daoxian closely followed behind the group of true immortal level demons, but immediately realized something was wrong. It stands to reason that these 51 true immortal level world monsters will definitely flee if they want to escape, so the chance of escaping is the greatest. After all, no matter how strong Qin Daoxian is, there is only one person. He is not strong enough to be able to kill the real immortal level world demons who have escaped with one axe. The only explanation is that this group of true immortal level world demons escaped is false, and it is true that they want to unite to deal with him. How dare you fight back? Qin Daoxuan's face was relaxed, but he was secretly alert. In any case, the 51 world monsters in front of them are all existences in the middle stage of true immortals. Although Qin Daoxian boasted that his strength was superior to them, he could not guarantee that the other party would have any means of fighting for his life. Just like formation. Just when Qin Daoxian and Xiao Jin were about to catch up with the 51 realm monsters, the middle stage real fairy headed by the real fairy roared, "Arrange formation." The words fall. 51 world demons turned into 51 streamers, and instantly scattered around Qin Daoxian and Xiao Jin. Sure enough, they just took advantage of the escape, secretly preparing the formation. Outside the array, the inspection Tianzuan of the human race also came here one after another, but their escaping speed is not as fast as the real immortal mid-stage demon and Xiao Jin, so it will take a while to really come. This moment, for ordinary people, may be just a moment, a breath. But for these true immortal level powerhouses, it is an opportunity to turn life and death. Shoot together, don't stay. It is good. The rest of the true immortal level world demons joined in one after another. Next moment, 51 world monsters unleashed their strongest attacks one after another. In the end, these attacks were transformed by the formation method and gathered together to form a giant beam of light. Then the beam of light slammed towards Qin Daoxian. Seeing this, Qin Daoxuan's expression suddenly changed. How strong is the combined force of the world demons and the mid-51 true immortals? Although it is not a perfect joint force, this power has broken through the barriers of the true immortal level and touched a higher level. Earth Immortal. Qin Daoxian did not expect that in just a few days he actually encountered the power of the Earth Immortal twice. It's just that the last time he encountered the defense power of the Earth Immortal level, this time he encountered the attack power of the Earth Immortal level. Looking at the beam of light that bombarded him, Qin Daoxian took a deep breath. Astrology. Breakout. Divine body burns 50%. This time, Qin Daoxian directly burned 50% of the divine body, not because he didn't want to burn more divine body. Because if he burns more divine bodies, he will fall into a faint in an instant. That's not fighting for life, it's suicide. The second style of opening the sky. Slaying the gods. Qin Daoxian roared. Holding the Pangu axe, he charged towards the giant beam of light with an indomitable aura. This time, without any axe light, all the power was gathered in the Pangu axe in his hand. After the giant beam of light touched the axe, it melted like ice and snow, and was directly broken by Qin Daoxian. Afterwards, the axe's remaining power continued to be undiminished, and with its infinite power, it directly slaughtered 51 true fairy world monsters. At this moment, Qin Daoxian even clearly saw the fear in the eyes of this group of true immortals. Are you afraid? Qin Daoxian smiled. It turns out that you will be afraid too. Go to hell. Qin Daoxian waved vigorously. What beams of light, formations and world demons are all under this axe, and they will be wiped out. It seemed that apart from this dark void, all the original things no longer existed. Such a highly condensed power was the first thing Qin Daoxian felt. Previously, whether he used the first style of opening the sky or the second style of opening the sky, his strength was actually very scattered, which can be seen from the power of his moves. It's not that Qin Daoxian wants to be so exaggerated, but that he can't control his own power, or that he is not proficient in the 3 types of Kaitian. But this time, when Qin Daoxian started the second day, he felt an unprecedented joy. This kind of hearty feeling was something he had never felt before when he performed the 3 heavenly forms. It stands to reason that with Qin Daoxian's power, it should be easier to perform the first style of opening the sky, but he did not expect that the first one he perfectly controlled was actually the second style of opening the sky. Kill 51 real immortal mid-stage demons with 1 axe. The Inspector Qinzuan who came to see this scene couldn't help swallowing and smearing. Fierce. Too fierce. They have never seen the strongest heavenly venerate in the history of the human race, the Emperor Slaughter heavenly venerate, but according to the records in the human race books, they are definitely not so powerful. This is 51 true immortal level demons, not 51 pigs. Just die. They supported it hard and even finally considered giving up Fuyuan City, giving up some of the great enemies who inspected Tianzuan, and the whole army was wiped out. If Qin Daoxian just defeated these real immortal level world monsters, these inspection Tianzans of the human race would only regard him as the second emperor killer Tianzuan. But Qin Daoxian is not, he is beheading the opponent. This is different from defeating 51 true immortal level demons. To defeat 51 world monsters, according to the strength of the Emperor Slaughter Tianzuan recorded in the ancient books of the human race, the opponent can barely do it. After all, as long as he doesn't fall into the formation, Emperor Slaughter Tianzuan can completely use guerrilla means to deal with this group of true immortal level world monsters. But Qin Daoxian was not like that. He fought hard and directly defeated 51 true immortal level world demons. Compared with Emperor Slaughter Tianzuan, Qin Daoxian's strength is undoubtedly much stronger. Everyone stared at Qin Daoxian blankly and for a while no one dared to speak. In the end it was Gu Jian Tianzuan who broke the silence first. Qin Daoxian. Gu Jian Tianzuan carefully arranged his words, "Thank you for this battle. Killing the monsters is the common obligation of the people of the Phoenix Meteor Realm. Why should Gu Jian Tianzuan say thanks? Speaking of which, I also have one thing to tell Gu Jian Tianzuan." Just as Qin Daoxian was about to speak about Lingyu Tianzuan and Tianzuan City, he stumbled. Qin Daoxian. Qin Tianzuan. Everyone panicked when they saw that Qin Daoxian's breath was unstable and his expression was sluggish. The one in front of him is a strong man who surpasses the Emperor Slaughter heavenly venerate, the hope of all the human race in this era. If Qin Daoxian had an accident, everyone would feel guilty to death. After all, an Emperor Slaughter heavenly venerate has brought an era of incomparable stability and peace to the people. What can Qin Daoxian, who is stronger than the Emperor Slaughter heavenly venerate, bring to the human race? Needless to say, everyone understands this. Gu Jian Tianzuan reacted the fastest. Although he was running out of mana, at least he was not injured compared to Qin Daoxian. "Are you all right?" Gu Jian Tianzan's figure flashed, and he supported Qin Daoxian, who was crumbling. Qin Daoxian shook his head, glanced at Gu Jian Tianzuan, and then looked at everyone again saying, "I need to retreat and recuperate. Quick, go back to Fuyuan City," Gu Jian Tianzuan ordered. Everyone did not dare to neglect, and all surrounded Qin Daoxian, escorting him back to Fuyuan City. Fortunately, the battlefield where Qin Daoxian and the World Demon fought was not far from Fuyuan City. At this moment, Fuyuan City is still besieged by countless world monsters. They don't know that all their true immortal level powerhouses have fallen. Look, the human race inspects Tianzuan. In the distance, a demon court will see 25 human races headed by Gu Jian inspecting Tianzuan. Although everyone's cultivation base is the same, the strength of Yaoting God will undoubtedly be different from that of Patrol Tianzuan. If nothing else, inspecting the top pure Yang immortal artifact in the hands of Tianzuan is not something that the ordinary nerves of Yaoting can count on. But the strange thing is that these inspectors have no intention of paying attention to them. Only along the passage cut open by the ancient sword Tianzuan, he flew into Fuyuan City. What's going on? Didn't the human race inspect Tianzuan to break through? What about the emperors? This demon court will have a delicate mind, and a bad feeling haunts his heart, which makes him want to retreat. But more demons didn't pay attention to this scene at all. In other words, they didn't take it seriously when they saw it. The human race inspected Tianzuan in the days when they were attacking the city. I don't know how many times. They also only think that this is the normal operation of the other party. Only the delicate-minded demon general began to slowly retreat to the back of the battlefield. just entered Fuyuan City. Roughing Tianzuan appeared in front of everyone. What's the matter? Didn't you break through? Gujian Tianzuan shook his head and said solemnly, don't ask, first prepare the best cave for Qin Daoxian. Seeing Tianzuan Roofing's hesitant expression, Gujian Tianzuan said again, don't worry, the world demon outside the city, leave it to us. Hearing this, Tianzuan Lufeng suddenly widened his eyes, and even his breathing became rapid. You mean? Well, let's go. It is good. Lufeng Tianzuan immediately stepped forward to support Qin Daoxian and flew towards the immortal mansion where he retreated. 7017K. Please remember this book's first domain name. Mobile version reading website, WAP. Chapter 522. A month later. Fuyuan City. Roughing Tianzuan Immortal Mansion. Qin Daoxian took the insect soldier handed over by concubine Qinxue and looked at it carefully. I really thought that you actually promoted the insect soldier all the way to the 7th star. Qin Daoxian sighed, these years I have suffered for you. Fei Qinxue looked at her Taoist companion, shook her head and said, compared to the sergeant who died in the battle at Haoyue City, I don't even count the suffering I suffered, at least I still have insect soldiers to protect my body and they mostly rely on their own flesh and blood. Hearing this, Qin Daoxian's face was heavy. Insect soldiers are not easy to refine. Even a 1-star insect soldier requires 6th-order spiritual materials to refine. But in the entire Phoenix Meteor world, how many spiritual materials above the 6th rank can there be? Although the insect soldiers are strong, they are still unable to satisfy all the monks of the human race. However, it is still feasible to use it to replace the humanoid Taoist soldiers and greatly enhance the strength of the human race monks. Qin Daoxian once had this idea, but due to his own strength and background, he never had the chance to bring it up. But it's different now. As the #1 powerhouse of the human race, his right to speak is not the same as before. During this period, Gujian Tianzuan was sitting in Fuyuan City while arranging inspections for Tianzuan to lift the siege of the Acropolis in the Wuxia war zone. In addition, Qin Daoxian felt that the biggest change was that Gujian Tianzuan actually came to discuss the arrangements with him every day. Originally, Gujian Tianzuan did not need to discuss these things with Qin Daoxian at all. But with the exposure of his strength, everything changed. Not only Gujian Tianzuan, but even other human race Tianzuan had excited expressions in their eyes when they saw Qin Daoxian. From their eyes, Qin Daoxian could see that they regarded themselves as the Emperor Slaughter Heavenly Venerate 200,000 years ago. Qin Daoxian was about to say something but suddenly raised his head. Next moment, a figure appeared in front of Qin Daoxian and Fei Qinxue. It was the ancient sword Tianzuan. Didn't disturb the two of you? Gujian Tianzuan smiled and looked at the two people. It's been disturbed. During this period of time, Qin Daoxian and Gujian Tianzuan are also familiar with each other. When they talk, their tone has gradually become more casual from the serious one at the beginning. Gujian Tianzuan didn't care. He sat down in the pavilion with a smile and said, tell you the good news, all the demons in the Wuxia war zone have been wiped out since today. Hearing this, Qin Daoxian and Fei Qingshu's eyes lit up slightly. This is indeed good news. This time Yaoting raised its troops to attack the Wujiao theater, which brought enormous pressure to the national defense line. But with Qin Daoxian beheading 52 true immortal-level demons in the demon court, the two sides were instantly reversed, and the human race changed from defense to attack. In the entire Wujiao war zone, they slaughtered the army of world demons everywhere. In a month's time they finally wiped out all the large-scale world demons. After this discussion, even if Yaoting still has a lot of strength left, it has reached the level of injury. Yaoting may not care too much about the loss of real world demons below the true immortal level. But the real immortal level world monsters are different. Even if the whole monster court adds up, there are not many world monsters at this level. This time in the Wujiao theater, 76 were lost at one time. 53 of them died in the hands of Qin Daoxian, and the remaining 24 were captured and killed by the human race inspection Tianzuan. This kind of victory has never happened even in the era of Emperor Slaughter Tianzuan. Seeing that Qin Daoxian was in a happy mood, Gujian Tianzuan seemed to remember something and asked, by the way, last time you said you had something to tell me, what is it? Hearing this, Qin Daoxian sighed slightly. It's Lingyu Tianzuan. Gujian Tianzuan frowned. Immediately, Qin Daoxian told the story of Lingyu Tianzuan colluding with the demon court emperor and betrayed the human race in a deep voice. Especially when Gujian Tianzuan heard that Tianzuan City was destroyed by Qin Daoxian, he stood up in shock. What? Tianzuan City was destroyed by you? Gu Jian Tianzhen's face was ashen. If the person standing in front of him is Qin Daoxian, and he is far from Qin Daoxuan's opponent, Gu Jian Tianzhuan would have drawn his sword and chopped him off. The destruction of Tianzhuan City, what does this mean for the human race? The most important line of defense of the human race is gone. And it was still destroyed in the hands of the Terran's own people. Originally, Gu Jian Tianzhuan had been complacent about this great victory, but when he thought of the destruction of Tianzhuan City, his heart was as uncomfortable as eating a fly. Do you know what Tianzhuan City means to my human race? Gu Jian Tianzhen's face was ashen, suppressing the anger in his heart. I know. Qin Daoxuan's face was equally heavy. On the side, Fei Qinshua saw that the atmosphere between the two was a little bit tense. She immediately looked at Qin Daoxian with some worry, and unconsciously clenched Qin Daoxuan's right hand. No, you don't know. Gu Jian Tianzhuan stood up. Yes, your strength is extremely powerful now. In the tens of thousands of years with you, my human race will be safe, but have you ever thought that you are gone? Qin Daoxian didn't give in. He looked at him and said, I have the confidence to become a true immortal. Although Qin Daoxian didn't know what would happen when the way of the divine body broke through to the level of a true immortal, with the blessing of the constellation technique, the strength of his divine body was increasing day by day. At this speed, it is a sure thing that Qin Daoxuan's divine body will break through to the level of a true immortal. The only difference is the speed of breakthrough. This point is completely different from the Emperor Slaughter Heavenly Venerate who is stuck at the level of the Heavenly Venerate of 8 tribulations. Can you become a fairy? Gu Jian Tianzhuan was stunned. Immortal. For the Phoenix cultivators, it was already a distant dream. As strong as Emperor Slaughter Tianzhuan, he finally sat down and left, failing to take the last step. But now Qin Daoxian said that he could become an immortal. Gu Jian Tianzhuan instinctively felt disbelief, but thinking of Qin Daoxuan's exaggerated strength, he couldn't help but shake. Could it be that he can really become an immortal? Half an hour. Gu Jian Tianzhuan finally recovered from the shock of Qin Daoxian becoming an immortal, and he sighed, even if you can become an immortal, so what? I said, you are in this world, the real demon world naturally dare not offend my human race, but one day you will fly up to the upper realm. At that time, what will happen to the human race who lose Tianzhuan City? At this moment, Gu Jian Tianzhen's heart no longer has much anger, he is only worried about the future fate of the human race. Although he may not see that day, he is still worried about the human race. Perhaps, for Gu Jian Tianzhuan, the human race is all he has. Why do you only want to guard? Qin Daoxian said solemnly, in the past 470,000 years, my human race has been invaded by world monsters many times, but they only dare to hide in the immortal city and tremble. Even so, one immortal city will fall one after another. Today's Wuxia war zone is preserved just because of my variable. What if there is no me? With Tianzhuan City, can the human race defend it? I tell you, the human race can't hold back. Qin Daoxuan's words were like a heavy hammer, hitting Gu Jian Tianzhen's heart ruthlessly. How could he not know the human race couldn't hold it? There is no need for the entire real demon world to attack just one demon court, the human race can't stop it. Not to mention that there is an even more unfathomable holy ancient demon realm in the real demon world outside the demon court. It is only self-deception to say that the human race can rely on Tianzhuan City to defend. Tianzhuan City can't even block Qin Daoxian alone, let alone block the entire real demon world? Thinking of this, Gu Jian Tianzhen's momentum suddenly weakened. You are right, my human race can't stop it, but Tianzhuan City is the confidence of my human race. For so many years, my human race has been able to persevere and not be discouraged, all relying on Tianzhuan City and Guangyuan realm. Without Tianzhuan City, my human race's confidence has been shattered by half. Pedantism. Qin Daoxian scolded, I have never heard that the confidence of the human race is brought by a fairy city that can only stay in place. The confidence of the human race can only be brought by one victory after another. Qin Daoxian stared at him. Didn't you say that the human race monks will lose confidence? Then let us tell them that the world demon can do things to my human race and my human race can also go back. Hearing this, Gu Jian Tianzhen's heart tightened. What are you going to do? Recover the human fairy city. Qin Daoxian was decisive. Since the fall of Emperor Slaughter Tianzhuan, all the immortal cities in the 9 major war zones of the human race and 4 war zones have fallen into the hands of the world demon. Now, Qin Daoxian wants to take back all the immortal cities in these 4 war zones. Back then, when Emperor Slaughter Tianzhuan was there, the human race also accomplished this feat. Thinking of this, Gu Jian Tianzhen's dead heart suddenly became hot. We have to tell them that everything we stole from my human race will be taken back by my human race bit by bit. Qin Daoxian looked at him. As for the future of the human race you are worried about, I can only say that before I ascend to the upper realm, I will definitely solve the serious trouble of the world demon. Hear this promise. Gu Jian Tianzuan took 3 steps back, bowed deeply to Qin Daoxian and said, "If you can do this, I will do my best to assist you in accomplishing this great cause of the ages." These words, Gu Jian Tianzuan is already handing over the power of the human race to Qin Daoxian. Although the human race has never had a nominal leader, but as the first powerhouse of the human race, Gu Jian Tianzuan is the leader of the human race in the real sense. But now, this human race leader is willing to hand over the power of the entire human race to Qin Daoxian. It can be seen how much impact Qin Daoxian's strength and his thoughts have brought him. Although in the world of cultivating immortals, in the end everything still has to be about strength. But without the support of Gu Jian Tianzuan, even though Qin Daoxian's strength is the first in the human race, it is still not an easy task to take over the power of the human race. After all, if you want to be in power, in addition to strength, you must have enough prestige. Qin Daoxian killed 53 true immortal-level world demons in one fell swoop, and his reputation was barely enough, but he was too young, and he could be said to have almost no connections within the entire human race. His sudden rise to the throne will make the major forces of the clan feel uncomfortable and unaccustomed. But with the support of Gu Jian Tianzuan, everything is very different. Gu Jian Tianzuan has held the power of the human race for so many years, no matter in terms of connections or background, it is not comparable to Qin Daoxian, the first powerhouse of the new human race. With his support, Qin Daoxian can not only secure the position of the leader of the human race, but even have a nominal title. You must know that even the identity of Gu Jian Tianzuan on the face is only one of the Inspection Tianzuan, and the Inspection Tianzuan does not distinguish between superiors and subordinates. That is to say, in theory, Gu Jian Tianzuan, Silver Wing Tianzuan, and Qiyun Tianzuan are all equal. This is also the reason why the human race has never been a leader in the true sense. In the 470,000-year history of the human race, even the Emperor slaughtering Heavenly Venerate has not been able to become the nominal human race leader. The reason is simple. Although the Emperor Slaughter Heavenly Venerate is strong, his cultivation is only the 8th Tribulation Heavenly Venerate, and there is no essential difference from other 8 Tribulations Heavenly Venerate, which will naturally make many monks who are not aware of it feel dissatisfied. Besides, it's just a name in name. Emperor Slaughter Tianzuan himself didn't care, and neither did other people. Inside the gazebo, Qin Daoxian watched Gu Jian Tianzuan leave, and his heart was extremely surging. After a month, Gu Jian Tianzuan finally made a choice that was beneficial to himself and the entire human race. It is about the authority of the entire human race. Even if people are no longer greedy for power, it does not mean that they can let go. At least Qin Daoxian asked himself that it was difficult to do it, but Gu Jian Tianzuan did it. This is a great man who truly cares about the human race. Qin Daoxian muttered. Well, I have heard about the prestige of Gu Jian Tianzuan among the monks of the human race in Haoyue City. Yes. Qin Daoxian turned his head and looked at her. Of course. Concubine Qinshue said with a smile, among all the inspectors, Gu Jian Tianzuan has the heaviest burden. Not only does he have to guard Tianzuan City, but sometimes he encounters difficult enemies, and he has to invite other inspectors to sit in Tianzuan City. He goes to the rescue. After all, his strength is much stronger than the ordinary Inspection Tianzuan. Yes. Qin Daoxian sighed again. It turns out that Lingyu Tianzuan sits in Tianzuan City, which is not the first case. No wonder Gu Jian Tianzuan has never been suspicious. Qin Daoxian shook his head and stopped thinking about these issues. By the way, how many insect soldiers do you have now? What's wrong? Fei Qinshue immediately took out the gourd-shaped cave artifact. There are a total of 2,756 insect soldiers in it, all of them are 7-star insect soldiers. The rest of the insect soldiers are in Qi Yao's hands. Qi Yao. When Fei Qinshue mentioned Qi Yao, her tone couldn't help but hesitate. But seeing Qin Daoxian's expression was the same, he felt both joy and guilt in his heart. Qin Daoxian took over the gourd-shaped cave artifact and said, I practice an immortal art that requires the use of insect soldiers. Fei Qinshue smiled, take it, you gave it to me anyway. Qin Daoxian laughed when he heard this. After this battle, the Wuxia theater will be completely peaceful, you can go back with me. Well, listen to you. Fei Chengshi's eyes curved into crescents. Seeing her cute and charming appearance, Qin Daoxian felt a long-lost peace in his heart. Stay warm with Fei Qinshue for a while. Qin Daoxian chose to retreat. He retreated this time not to improve his cultivation, but to improve the celestial art of constellation. Speaking of which, Qin Daoxian's astral technique has been modified several times by him. One is to use one's own divine body as a star curtain, and the other is to directly let the orifices of the divine body devour the insect soldiers and act as the stars in the sky. In addition to not changing the Zhou Tianxing Du Great Array, this immortal art was almost changed by Qin Daoxian. But thanks to his transcendent perception, astral art was modified very successfully by him. At least for now it's been very successful. What Qin Daoxian has to do in this retreat is to devour the insect soldiers to strengthen the acupuncture points and stars in his body. 7017K. Please remember this book's first domain name. Mobile version reading website, WAP. Chapter 523. Xianfu's Secret Room. Qin Daoxian sat cross-legged. He first took out a 7-star insect soldier and looked at it carefully. I didn't expect that Schwer actually cultivated the insect soldiers to such a level. The killing she has experienced in these years may be far beyond my imagination. Qin Daoxian sighed and stopped thinking about it. Immediately, the acupoints and stars in the god's body were activated, and a terrifying devouring force came out of his body. The 7-star insect soldier was sucked into his divine body by this devouring force. Since the insect soldier has recognized Qin Daoxian as the master, there is no resistance to his actions at all. As long as the acupoints of his divine body can withstand the power of the insect soldier, he can devour him infinitely. Of course, with the strength of Qin Daoxian's divine body, if he wanted to devour the insect soldiers indefinitely, he would be courting death. Even Qin Daoxian was not absolutely sure of swallowing the 7-star insect soldiers. After all, the 7-star insect soldiers are already considered heavenly venerate level combat power, which is at the same level as the power level of Qin Daoxian divine body. Qin Daoxian has a total of 1,800 orifices in his body. With so many orifices, if he wants to devour all the insect soldiers, it means that his divine body has to accommodate the power of 1,800 heavenly venerates. To be honest, even if Qin Daoxian breaks through to the level of a true immortal, he cannot guarantee that he can accommodate 1,800 heavenly venerate level forces. However, Qin Daoxian's move was not purely to improve the constellation technique, he was using the power of the constellation technique to speed up the process of his breakthrough to the realm of true immortals. Due to the influence of the astrology, Qin Daoxian's divine body is changing all the time. But he still thinks that the transformation speed is a bit slow. Qin Daoxian wanted to speed up the process of transformation and enhance the power of the constellation technique, which naturally became the first choice. A long time. The first 7-star worm soldier was completely swallowed by Qin Daoxian's acupoint star, and then the acupoint star began to transform, and its power level suddenly changed from the creator realm Daojun to the Tianzuan level. Affected by this terrifying force, Qin Daoxian felt that his divine body suddenly felt a sense of tension, and at the same time, the transformation speed of his divine body really accelerated. Qin Daoxian knew that the feeling of tension in the divine body was caused by the strength of the stars in the acupoints, and the divine body as the starry sky could not bear this force. As his divine body transforms and evolves, this pressure will become less and less. However, Qin Daoxian did not intend to stop. Soon, the second 7-star insect soldier was swallowed by the aperture of his divine body. The 2 acupoints and stars, transformed from the Daojun of the creation realm to the level of Tianzuan, immediately brought more pressure to his divine body. But Qin Daoxian also felt that the transformation of the divine body was accelerating again. Continue? Qin Daoxian's heart swayed, and he continued to add weight to the divine body. Before he knew it, his divine aperture had devoured 100 7-star insect soldiers. The 100 orifice stars at the level of Tianzuan, plus 1,700 stars at the level of the Daojun of the creation realm, brought unparalleled pressure to Qin Daoxian's divine body. If there are outsiders present at this time, they will find that Qin Daoxian's body is like porcelain, with cracks appearing and golden rays of light bloom in the cracks, as if his divine body will explode at any time. However, Qin Daoxian also felt that his divine body was changing at an unprecedented speed under this heavy pressure. Breakthrough to true immortal. Right at this moment, Qin Daoxian roared and his mental will was extremely condensed. At this moment, his soul, mana, and body were completely integrated, and they were no longer separated from each other. The Tao law is like blood flowing freely in his body. Qin Daoxian's divine body suddenly rose up. 10,000 feet, 20,000 feet. 100,000 feet. 200,000 feet, 300,000 feet. 1,000,000 feet. In the end, his divine body stayed at the level of 1,000,000 zhang. 1,000,000 feet of divine body stands in the void. The Fuyuan city at the foot is like a nest of ants. Although the area is vast, the height of the buildings in the city is too low. Inside Fuyuan city, one after another human monks felt this terrifying aura and went out to check the situation one after another. At this time, the Wuxia war zone was not long after the human race and the world monsters were fighting. Everyone was nervous, and now they felt the terrifying aura on Qin Daoxuan's body, and thought that another world monster had invaded. In the void, one after another familiar figures appeared. Ancient Sword Heavenly Venerate, Qiyun Heavenly Venerate, Ruthless Wind Heavenly Venerate. One after another, the inspection Tianzuan appeared, and some inspected Tianzuan, even seriously injured, still came out of the customs. Because they couldn't believe what the gods saw, and wanted to see with their own eyes what the first true immortal born to the human race looked like after the end of the ancient times. Now they see it. Qin Daoxian, he succeeded? The Qiyun Tianzuan on the side was stunned, and he could hardly believe his eyes. He succeeded. Although Gu Jian Tianzan's tone was calm, his slightly trembling hand indicated that his mood was definitely not as calm as he showed. Since the end of the ancient times, the human race has given birth to another true immortal. The significance of this to the human race is too important. Compared with the cultivators at the bottom, the biggest enemies of the heavenly venerate in the Phoenix Meteor realm are not even the realm monsters but themselves. For the heavenly venerate of the Phoenix Meteor realm, there is no hope and the road is cut off, which is even more terrifying than the threat of the world demon. Immortal cultivators, especially cultivators who have cultivated to the level of heavenly venerate, may be more afraid of being cut off than death. There is a saying that is well said, it is probably this kind of feeling. But now they have even become extravagant to hear the news, and they can only struggle hard in the attack and aggression of the world monsters. For the heavenly venerate of the Phoenix Meteor realm, the immortal city on the battlefield outside the human race is more of a prison for them to escape from the road cut off. They keep themselves in cages, out of contact with the outside world. It seemed that this would vent their desperation that the road would be cut off. Especially the 8 tribulations heavenly venerate who is only one step away from the true immortal. In this era, true immortals can really be born. True immortals can still be born. Roughing Tianzuan looked at Qin Daoxuan's divine body, and his eyes filled with tears of excitement. Even when Fuyuan City fell, he didn't have such a big mood swing. But at this moment, when he saw hope in the broken path, he couldn't hold back any longer. Tens of thousands of years of waiting. If it weren't for the limitations of the Phoenix Meteor realm, with his talent, he would have broken through to the true immortal long ago. Not only him, the human race 8 tribulations heavenly venerate, especially the human race's patrol heavenly venerate, one counts as one, all of them can break through to the level of true immortals. Without this talent, they would not be able to compete with the true immortal level world demon with the cultivation of the 8 tribulations heavenly venerate. One after another, the celestial venerables flew to Qin Daoxuan's head and congratulated him. Congratulations to Qin Tianzuan for breaking through the true immortals. From now on, his longevity will be equal to that of the heavens, and immortal blessings will be enjoyed forever. Congratulations Qin Tianzuan. Congratulations. A voice of joy came from the mouth of the human race heavenly venerate. Qin Daoxian could see that they were congratulating him sincerely, because they saw hope from Qin Daoxian. Gujian Tianzuan smiled and said, "My human race is now in good fortune, not only won the war with the demon court, but also gave birth to a true immortal. Ladies and gentlemen, the appearance of Qin Jinxian may be God's redemption for the human race of the Phoenix Meteor realm. Such a good opportunity must not be missed." Qiyun Tianzuan heard the words and laughed loudly. "Gu Jian, you bastard, there are no outsiders here, why are you talking so bewildering? Don't you just want to propose that Qin Jinxian lead the human race? I don't know about the others, but I agreed anyway. The human race really needs a person who can command the heroes." Gu Jian Tianzuan looked at Qiyun Tianzan's eyes, showing a trace of gratitude. You must know that Qiyun Tianzuan represents not only himself, but also the top forces behind him. Compared with the top family like the Jiang family, the sect behind Qiyun is the top 3 existence among all the top forces of the human race. This means that the other party has a huge influence in the human race. This influence does not even have to be much weaker than the influence of the ancient sword Tianzuan in the human race. Hearing Qiyun's straightforward answer, the rest of the inspection Tianzuan were a little silent. But Tianzuan Lufeng took the initiative to stand up and said, "We used to disagree with each other, that's because everyone's cultivation base strength gap and there is no essential gap. But it is different now. Dao Yu Chen's strength is obvious to all. Now that he has broken through to the level of a true immortal, his strength will be even higher. Coupled with the merits he has made for the human race this time, he will not be the emperor of the human race. I am the first to disagree. Emperor. Compared with Ancient Sword Heavenly Venerate and Qiyun Heavenly Venerate, Roughing Heavenly Venerate is more ruthless, and even the title of human sovereign is directly taken out. But the strange thing is that no one dared to stand up to refute. Nonsense, that is the real fairy of the human race. And it is a human race true immortal with outstanding combat power. Even if some inspectors have criticisms in their hearts, they do not dare to refute in front of Qin Daoxian. Seeing this, Tianzuan Lifeng cut the mess with a quick knife and said, "Since everyone doesn't speak, I will assume that you all agree." After saying that, he turned to Qin Daoxian again and cupped his hands. "Qin Jinxian, we would like to honor you as the emperor of the human race. I don't know this position, can you take it over?" Qin Daoxian's eyes swept across the faces of the celestial venerables. The human race gods in front of him, except for the wind gods, are all human inspection gods. If they all agree that Qin Daoxian will become the emperor of the human race, then his position as the emperor of the human race can really be firmly established. Emperor. The king of the human race. This position not only has the strength to dominate the world, but also means endless responsibility. To be honest, if there is a choice, Qin Daoxian is not willing to take over the throne of this emperor. Taking over this position also means that he has to take over all the cause and effect of the human race and the world demon. And this cause and effect is too heavy. It's so heavy that even now he can't bear it. But he is a human race. As the saying goes, when the sky falls, there are tall people on it. And he is the tallest person in the human race. Thinking of this, Qin Daoxian nodded and said solemnly, "I am willing to take over this important task." Good. The eyes of everyone looking at Qin Daoxian suddenly changed. If it was said that before, everyone looked at Qin Daoxian with expectations. And now they have regarded Qin Daoxian as the only hope of the human race. That's exactly what happened. The current Qin Daoxian is the only hope of the human race. Meet the Emperor. Meet the Emperor. In the void, 25 heavenly venerates bowed to Qin Daoxian together. In Fuyuan City, more and more human cultivators heard the shouts of the heavenly venerates, and they followed behind the many inspecting heavenly venerates, shouting loudly. The human race desperately needs a strong leader to lead them to win the war with the demons, and to lead them out of the quagmire that has been staggering for 470,000 years. Looking at the expectant gazes of many human race monks, Qin Daoxian knew that from this moment on, he would officially take over the cause and effect of the human race and the world demon, and he would never die. Controlling the divine body to change into a normal body shape, Qin Daoxian met with many human race gods again in the roughing Shinfu. This time, in the face of Qin Daoxian, who had restrained his divine body, everyone's pressure suddenly felt much less. Speaking of which, he was a little more casual. Human sovereign, everyone, Gujian Tianzuan suggested, the Emperor's ascension to the throne is a major event for my human race. Although I will wait for an agreement in private, this matter has to pass the Tianzuan meeting after all, and then make it known to the world. Hearing this, everyone nodded. Indeed, although the current situation of the human race is not good, the Emperor's ascension to the throne is not only related to the human race's face, but also to the cohesion within the human race. This is a major event and should not be sloppy. Qin Daoxian nodded and said, "This matter will be done according to Gujian Tianzun's intention." "Sir, obey the law." Gujian Tianzuan entered the role the fastest. When the other heavenly venerates heard Gujian Heavenly Venerable calling him a minister, their expressions could not help but change. In the past, everyone was inspecting the heavenly venerate, and their status was equal. Even if Gujian Tianzuan has the reputation of being the #1 powerhouse in the human race, he will never give orders directly to everyone but to negotiate. But now the human race has one more emperor, and the situation will be very different. Since Qin Daoxian is the emperor, they will all become his subjects and subordinates. When facing Qin Daoxian in the future, they will obey each other's decrees. This invisible restraint made them feel uncomfortable. Qin Daoxian and Gujian Tianzuan naturally also saw this. But Gujian Tianzuan did it on purpose. He has to create a situation that is unequivocal for Qin Daoxian, otherwise, this human emperor is just a powerful display. Although with Qin Daoxian's strength, it is impossible to become a puppet, but everyone can completely disobey his orders. No matter how strong Qin Daoxian is, can he still kill all the heavenly venerates? Therefore the surrender of the gods must be sincere. But it is easier said than done to let the sloppy Tianzuan suddenly be restrained. Gu Jian Tianzhen's move is just a reminder to everyone. Roughing Tianzuan also felt that the atmosphere was a little wrong and smiled. Human sovereign, I have one more thing to do. Say. It's about the human race's counterattack against the demons and the recapture of the occupied fairy city. Hearing this, everyone pricked up their ears and looked solemn. The human race now has 5 large theaters, A, B, C, D, and E. Each large theater can be divided into 9 small theaters. The location where they are now is the Wuxia theater. In fact, the human race originally had 9 major war zones and 81 small war zones. Now there are only 45 small war zones left in the human race, and 36 small war zones have fallen. 36 small war zones, more than 1,000 immortal cities. This is the number of immortal cities lost by the human race since the end of the era of Emperor Slaughter Tianzuan. 7017K. Please remember this book's first domain name. Mobile version reading website, WAP. You're tuning in to the Han Li's Wuxia Adventures YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.